Hello, this is Julia from Just One More Card, bringing you another card as part of the design team for the Color Me Challenge. The colors this week are Soft Sky and Elegant Eggplant, and here you can see what I'm going to use. There are different supplies, and I just thought I'd introduce you to them before I start using them. These are the Femme Frames by Mama Elephant. I keep using these over and over because I simply love this die set. This is a new stamp for me, the Hero Arts wood grain background, and it just looks gorgeous. I've tested it just once before. The Water Blooms stamp set by Mama Elephant. You can use any floral stamp set that you have. This is just the one that I'm going to use. And these are the two colors I'm going to use. I don't own any Stampin' Up! Inks, so I have to find the inks that I've got that are closest to the Stampin' Up! Colors. So again, there are Soft Sky and Elegant Eggplant. Those are the Stampin' Up! Colors. And I found that the Hero Arts Soft Pool and the VersaFine Imperial Purple match the best. A friend of mine is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and she let me use her inks and her pattern papers to create these swatches. And then I'm just taking those swatches and holding them up against the ink colors that I already own, so I can find the closest match. And you can't see it on camera, but the Soft Sky and the Soft Pool really match very well. So now I'm going to use the Hero Arts wood grain background stamp and the Simon Says stamp Fog ink. It's a warm, light gray ink, and it gives just a very light impression of the wood grain background. Now this stamp is perfectly sized for A2 cards. That means you have to be very careful when you line those up. If your card hangs over the stamp at any point, you're not going to have the background there, so you have to be really careful when you line this up. I like to use a piece of scratch paper and then carefully rub across it, so the ink will be transferred from the stamp onto the card. And I'm being very careful. I'm always very careful when I'm doing it this way, because I'm afraid of shifting my card. Ask me why I'm afraid of this. So that's why I'm going very slowly here. And then there's the big reveal when you lift it off, and you have this absolutely gorgeous wood grain pattern. I'm a sucker for wood grain patterns. I'm sorry, I just love it. So I'm so delighted with the stamp. It looks like the real thing. So here I have a piece of white scrap paper, and I'm going to use the bigger one of the two Femme Frames by Mama Elephant. I'm just going to shift this down a little bit so it's easier for me to stick down the masking tape. And once it's been cut, that's how it looks like. You get this beautiful scallop border. This is going to go on top of the card, and you can still see the wood background in the background. I'm inking up this sentiment stamp with the VersaFine ink, and as you can see, I get quite a lot of ink onto the acrylic block itself. And I'm going to wipe it off because I am so talented when it comes to transferring ink from the acrylic block onto my card. So better safe than sorry. Wipe this off, and now I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and I'm going to place it to the lower right. I don't want to have it in the middle. I think that would look, for what I have in mind, it would look kind of boring, but of course you can make it look interesting if you put it in the middle as well. And now I'm just going to stamp the different floral images from the stamp set with the Soft Sky ink first. Because the sentiment is dark, so it draws your attention. I will not use a lot of that ink for the florals, but I will use a lot of the Soft Sky for the florals. And that already looks pretty. You could even leave it at this. But you see, I didn't leave it at that. I went ahead and stamped quite a few of the single images, just filling up a little bit the empty spaces here before I'm calling it done. And here's the final panel, and as you can see, I had a few oopsies. Don't ask me how I did it, but I transferred, of course, some of the ink into the empty space where it's not supposed to go, but I'll fix that as soon as I've adhered the card, the panel to the card. I've put quite a bit of masking tape there on the back of my card to make sure it stays nice and flat and is not sagging anywhere. I'm just making sure I'm lining this up correctly after all the work that I've put into this. And then I'm gonna press down gently. And now I'm just gonna take some pearls. I'm hoarding pearls, literally hoarding them, but I think this is a good opportunity to use them up and cover up the oopsies that I've made. So I'm going to be very generous here and gonna put one pearl on top of every ink splotch that I made. I still wonder how I did this. Seriously, how can somebody be so careless? But this is the finished card for today. I think it looks rather good once I've covered up the oopsies. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've got inspired to use your flower stamps in this way to create some sort of pattern, even background. If you liked it, just hop over to my blog and check out my blog. Thanks for watching. See you soon.